Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode was full of incompetence about how navies work in this game. And this episode is also probably going to be full of incompetence, if I'm honest, but it'll be less incompetent on how navies work, hopefully. Now, we're currently working on getting these additional hull types researched, and that's kind of our absolute highest priority right now, because we need to increase our naval range. That is our core issue right now. We simply don't have the naval range we need to get the naval supremacy we need up here. So that is an issue, to be sure. We're otherwise pretty much ready to go on this invasion. I mean, our armies are kind of small, but they're probably going to get crushed, so there's that. Now, one thing I'm wondering about, how much more do we actually need in our Coast Guards? So this unit here, minimum divisions 31. We could actually make that happen right now and have this Coast Guard be full. So we could move, say, let's see, we need a total of 11? So we can move, say, 6 out of here. No, we don't need 11. We need 41. Not 31. So we need 5 more from each. Okay. There we go. And 5 more from each. Perfect. So that's 41. So that is this one. I'm dumb. Okay, so it was 31. I was right the first time. See, I told you there'd be incompetence aplenty. And I deliver. Perfect. Okay, so these guys, they are now at their minimum divisions. Perfect. These guys, on the other hand, they need 85. And these guys need 34? So I think that means that we're going to add in this as a state here. And we're going to remove... No, not that. We're going to remove this as a state. That brings us to 77. Okay. We're going to remove this as a state as well. That puts it at 69. Nice. And so we are going to then add that in over here. Perfect. I think I'm just going to try to even these out a little bit more. I'm going to remove... Well, this should actually be added as an area defense up here. That puts it at 75. So we're definitely going to have to pull back a little bit over here. And we will add this over here. 57 and 68. So that puts us at 64 and 61. I think that's probably about as close as we're going to get. So in total, we do need, what, roughly 60 more divisions here. That's a lot, to be sure. I'm going to bump this up to 10 in recruitment. And say 4 tank divisions. Actually, I'm going to 5. I know that we're going to be struggling to deliver the modern tanks required for that. But we'll get that started anyway. So we'll get that shuffled around a little bit. So we now know that this one is maxed out. These two have quite a bit more that they need. The US just canceled the non-aggression pact with us. Fair enough. So we're going to improve relations with them. And they're extremely close to accepting this again. Well, not actually extremely close. They're fairly close to accepting this again. We have unfulfilled import requests, and that's because the United States is being a jerk about it. The US is actually... Now they're delivering it, I think. We do need aluminum. We're also struggling to get that from the United States. What's going on here? Is Japan actually fighting them now? Okay, so our import from the United States comes in where exactly? From Santo Domingo, I guess? Something like that? Root efficiency is 100% on all this. We are getting our chromium. We are not getting our steel from the United States. They're not exporting as much anymore. They must have just kicked something into overdrive. We're going to need to get some from the UK. And that's basically all that we can get our steel from. So this is awkward. For sure. We're going to need additional aluminum here. And we'll just get some of that from France. That's not a big deal. But the US not exporting their steel to us, that is a problem. And that's mostly because they're just being colossal jerks, of course. Are they thinking about declaring war on us? I mean, they did cancel the non-aggression pact. So that's definitely something to be a bit concerned about. So we'll just sort those guys on into our coast guards. They will have a bit of a tough time invading us. Not a hugely tough time, I don't think, but a bit of one. Well, that does mean that I'm going to cancel production on these 2 tank lines for sure. We are short on steel. Very short on steel. Now they're at war with Japan, defensively. But they don't seem to actually be interested in that at all. We're going to grab, I think, destroyer hulls here. There we go. And we've got an additional tank brigade here. Now, I'm going to assign this tank brigade to a new army here. And for right now, this army, all it's going to be doing is area defense up here. For right now. But this is going to be starting a new army up in this area. Now that I think about it, though, how many heavy tanks do we have in here? Or rather, modern tanks. That is going to be a total of 8. I kind of want this to be half and half. So I'm going to do this, and we'll assign this guy out into this Coast Guard. Okay. Something kind of like that. Now, we are finishing up construction on our infrastructure, which will help in alleviating our steel issue. The UK is not delivering all of the steel we're trading for. Awkward. Very awkward indeed. We're going to trade for basically all of the steel that we can, but there's not a ton that we can get here. Okay. We're basically getting all of our steel from the Allies. And we're going to be in a steel deficit for a while. That is going to hurt our naval production primarily. To the point where I'm thinking about doing this. Yeah, I think this is correct. We got to keep our navies cranking out here. There's our heavy ship hulls. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to immediately create a new variant of the 1936 heavy ship hull. And we'll just automatically generate the complete design. There we go. And we can't save that. No changes have been made. Yeah, we'll actually just craft this. There we go. So we're now making 1936 variants of all of our ships, and we are going to immediately start working on the Tier 3 heavy ship hull. There we go. I know there's unfulfilled import requests. Ooh, the United States has more steel available. Go after it. Okay, this is a modern tank brigade, and we're going to pop that into this army here. And then we're going to move these guys in like that. Fantastic. So this should now be, what, a grand total of 9 heavy tanks in this army? 8. Oh, I didn't select this one. So yes, 9. That is correct. In this one, we've got 5. So we could definitely use more there. There's our 1940 submarine hull. We're going to go for the 44 submarine hull. And we're going to... I'm just thinking here. Are we actually going to switch our submarine hull? Because how long until that research is done? 109 days. We're just going to be throwing away a lot of production if we switch it at this point. We'll switch it after this one finishes tomorrow. So we'll switch it now. So we'll get that over to the 1940 submarine hull. Fantastic. Okay, and then can we send these guys back for refits? I don't know, maybe. What's our actual naval range look like? Abysmal is the answer. Very, very abysmal. We certainly need to work on that. So, US, what are you up to over there? Getting increasingly angry at us. And honestly, I'm a bit unsure why. We're not generating additional world tension. Fascinating. So we're going to cancel this Lend-Lease. We're going to start a new one. What is something that we have a lot of in stock that we don't really care if the US gets? Convoys. Can we just give them convoys? Yes, we can. We're going to give them like 200 convoys monthly. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to immediately begin work on the 1944 cruiser hull. We're not going to upgrade our production on these to the 1940 cruiser hull until these finish up. So 24 April is when that'll happen, allegedly. Okay, that's fine. I would love to import more steel. We're not really getting what we have demanded, though. Indeed not. Let's try to clean that up a little bit. Okay, well, we are working on our infrastructure in these locations. That will help our personal throughput, our national throughput, I guess. And we can do a region-wide industrial integration. That is definitely something that we will do. And what are we going to do with that? I would like to build... Hello. I would like to build a naval dockyard over here where we can. And then we can actually build a naval dockyard up here as well. So we're going to get those started, but we're going to build like that. There we go. This infantry division will be assigned to the Coast Guard. Fantastic. And I mean, we can definitely see, how are we doing with our infantry equipment? We're doing okay on that. Great. That's with 10 infantry divisions being recruited simultaneously. So that is absolutely wonderful. Just fantastic there. The US is probably getting increasingly angry at us. Yet they absolutely are. When's our next Lend-Lease arriving? 11 days. Okay. That should help. In theory. We have generated a lot of world tension, and they're going to be salty about that. But I'm hoping to keep them at bay until we, you know, conquer the Soviet Union, because I'm sure that's going to be super possible. Actually, let's see here. 64 and 61. Yeah, that'll be fine. So we need 30 plus 32. So, you know, a total of 62 more infantry divisions there to get those maxed out. We still need a lot more steel. The US is delivering like none of their steel right now. I do wonder where that trade actually flows from. Is that flowing overland? It might be flowing overland. Which would be interesting for sure. Well, let's continue to get those naval dockyards working. We're not currently making much of anything because we have a huge steel shortage. In fact, I'm going to move our infantry weapons down here as well. We're not going to make many of them, but I'd rather have that steel be devoted to our ships currently. And actually, we are making a decent chunk of them now. That'll do. We do need more steel. And we have basically one option. Well, two options to get it. Conquer the United States or conquer the Soviet Union. Those are our options. And I'd really not like to tangle with the Allies right now. I would love it if the Soviet Union would go to war with the Allies. Unfortunately, they're not very interested in that right now. I am fascinated that Lithuania and Slovakia are still alive, apparently. I have no idea where they actually are. This is Croatia, of course. Huh. They don't appear to be in the normal places that you'd find Lithuania and Slovakia. So, I don't know if they've capitulated or what. Maybe we'll just go with an or what. So yeah, the US pulling back on their deliveries over here. Oh, hello. Portugal managed to win their war over here. Good for you, Portugal. That is, of course, fully expected of them. 1936 destroyer hulls. Great. We're going to grab 1940 destroyer hulls next. We're just attempting to cruise through this as quickly as we can. We do want to make sure that the US isn't getting super upsetty at us. And actually, we're doing okay on that front, I feel like. We could send them an attaché. And I'm actually going to do that. They will not accept. Okay, that's not shocking. They have a low opinion of us. We could improve opinion with them again, and I'm going to do exactly that. We'll get that improved relations bonus back up. Fantastic. What else do we want to do? I wish we could prospect for resources. Unfortunately, that's not an option. Our Coast Guard is doing much better now. But yeah, the US is not trading very much steel to us right now. Which is very sad. Very sad indeed. But that does mean that that just accelerates our plans. So that was the 1940 heavy ship hull finishing up. We'll grab the 44 heavy ship hull now. And let's go ahead and check our production here. So I feel like we should bump this up to the 1940 cruiser hull. We will lose some production there, but that's fine. This should be the 1940 cruiser hull as well, this one here. And then the heavy ship hull should be the 1940 heavy ship hull. Like that. Okay. So we're all on full 1940s here now. That's a good sign. And how are we doing out over here? Exactly the same. I mean, this isn't shocking, right? Especially with the US backing off on steel deliveries. Not shocking at all. We're working on our infrastructure in the Galapagos, which honestly I feel like isn't that big of a priority, considering the Galapagos Islands have nothing. Let's actually look at our compliance here. That's looking good. How about our resistance? That's looking great, actually. That's looking really, really good. Our war support is actually a little low because there are convoys being raided. So we should probably do some war propaganda. Oh, we are running a war propaganda campaign. Apparently. Interesting. Yeah. Japan wants to invite us to their faction. We're going to decline on that still. I really feel like we can't fight the US. Not right now. We're going to continue tossing troops at our Coast Guard, of course. Now, this is a lot of troops. There's no doubt about that. And our manpower is going down a bit, but that's fine. We can institute some press censorship, not like that's going to be helpful. We can bump up our stability here, if we so choose. We could also try to go to total war mobilization here, and that might not be a terrible idea, but we do need that war support for that. And we can't run propaganda right now. There's our 44 cruiser hulls. Perfect. So that means that our cruisers are done up over this way now. And we're going to start grabbing these researches for it. Should we immediately switch to 44 cruiser hulls? Honestly, I think we should. Yeah, we'll lose 23 days of production. I don't necessarily care. These have the largest range that we can throw at them, and that is great. I also do want to start... maybe have this be a naval repair queue? We don't have any ships awaiting repairs currently. Okay, so I do want to start also producing destroyers at some point. But I think we'll come back to this a bit later on. Man, we gotta do something about that steel, right? I really feel like we gotta do something about that steel. I mean, we're trying. We're trying to do something about the steel. We just gotta get that naval range up. And there's only so long that we can do that. So is there any way that we can, like, tell these cruisers to go get refitted? Or do we have to, like, scuttle the cruisers and... what's the term? I'm blanking the actual term here. Decommission. That's the term I'm looking for. Do we have to decommission them? Maybe. Let's see here. Good, good, good. Carrier hulls? Yeah, we'll work on carrier hulls. Okay, and these divisions are going to continue to head into our Coast Guards. We do have a good amount of recruitment ongoing, and that's important to us. We definitely need to continue recruiting and getting steel. Steel is extremely important to us right now. I mean, we're working on infrastructure at the moment, and that is great. We do need that infrastructure. Is there any infrastructure that needs to be queued up? No, we're good. Okay. So that infrastructure is going to continue, and that will, of course, improve our supplies coming in from our territory a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. We actually have too much chromium coming in right now. We'll back off a little bit on that. How's that U.S. opinion? They're real salty still. That's not shocking. That's not shocking at all. Not shocking at all. I think we should probably start working on some counter intel in our capital over here with this guy. And I don't think we need to root out resistance anymore. I think at this point we should probably work on... ooh, diplomatic pressure. We might be able to put some diplomatic pressure on the US. Let's see what that ends up doing. So, do we now see diplomatic pressure in here? Yes, we do. Okay, that's what we want right now. Fantastic. So we'll work on that for a little while. And we're going to be finishing up some of these technologies here quite soon. That's great. Heavy ship hulls in 30 days. How far are we along on production on our heavy ship here? Not very. I mean, heavy ships don't build very quickly at all, so that's good to know. We're only making 4.95 modern tanks per week right now, and that is non-great. Thanks for taking your steel away, United States, but we already had a plan to transition off of that, so that's okay. Now we're trading tons of convoys to the US. That bears noting. That's just to elevate their opinion of us. I'm a little surprised Japan hasn't been getting belligerent towards Russia. And I'm also a little surprised Russia's just sitting there chilling and letting us do our thing. That is definitely surprising. Very, very surprising. But I'm okay with it. If they want to let us do this, I'm not going to stop them. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, man, those trade convoys, they are being raided hard. We definitely need to do something about that one. However, like I said, that cut's got to be put in here at some point, and now is as good a time as any. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I'll see you all next time as we continue to step up our naval power.